Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akhil. I'm the VP for Solutions at Royal Cyber, and today I'll be walking you through one of the product that is created by Royal Cyber and is the only product in the market which can help you contain your customers before they actually, abandon the cart or move out of the site. So first of all, what is a cognitive solution? So, when we use the term cognitive, it means self-learning. So imagine this chatbot be like a newborn who is born, and this newborn will be learning as they grow up uh, by taking the learnings from the environment, from the teachers, parents, siblings, friends, what they see on a day-to-day basis, grasp that, process that, and take out the information out of it. So the chatbot is very much similar. So it needs to understand. It has a capability of understanding what the scenario is. It can automatically reason within itself to find the right way forward. And if it does not know what is the right way forward, it can be taught. It can be mentored. And then it keeps that or saves that as a learning so that next time a similar situation happens, the chatbot should be able to handle that scenario. So that's what we make out of the term cognitive. So the chatbots have been in the market for a pretty long time now. I would easily say like 4 to 5 years now, and there has been an immense growth in the capabilities of these chatbots. They started from being a very static frequently asked questions bot, or some question and answer bot where you'll ask a question and it'll map that question with the exact terms at the back end, and using a decision tree give a response back. So that's how it all started, where the chatbot is able to handle certain number of customers who have a very predefined questionnaire, very simple questions, which they can also go to the site and find out the answer of, but they're too lazy to do it. They'll probably ask that to a chatbot. Chatbot will respond back, and they'll be able to move forward on this. But that time is gone. We need to come up with some smart solutions which can, if not replace your CSR team, but it should be able to reduce the size of that team drastically, be able to provide services to your customers 24/7 in n number of languages across the globe, across the clock. And that's where the cognitive piece comes into the picture. And as you would be aware, there are a lot of different platforms in the market right now which provide these artificial intelligence services. So the chatbot that we have developed, it is technology agnostic. So you can use Microsoft AI, you can use Google AI, you can use IBM AI, you can use Salesforce AI. It's totally up to you what you want to use. You can use one, you can use a combination of different AI services altogether and have this chatbot provide your customers an amazing experience by helping you maintain the quality at a very reduced cost or no cost at all in a longer run. Just to give you a very quick example, imagine a scenario where someone is trying to find some more information about some seminars at a conference. So these attendees, they use the application. They might use a native application. They might correspond with the chatbot on the website. So if they compose a message like, please show all seminars by so-and-so author plan for tomorrow. So here the chatbot has a capability to first of all find the intent, what the customer or the user is trying to find out, or what they are trying to achieve out of this message. Then it can also flag what are the entities involved in that message. By using all this information, it can analyze the situation at hand and generate a very specific response. So it will have access to some databases at the back end. It would be connected with the backend using RESTful APIs. So once it analyzes what it has to look for, it can reach out to the corresponding RESTful API or the database, get the response, then formulate a human friendly response, and using a host of various mediums like SMS, Facebook Messenger, social, chat, Skype, phone call, or web interface, it can correspond back to the user. Now the chatbot is capable of both using text as a medium and voice as a medium. So it will understand the input, process it, and deliver it back to the user. So that's where it plays a very major role. And as the artificial intelligence capabilities or voice decoding capabilities have improved, the chatbots have become more and more smart, more and more perfect, if you want to put it that way. Now this chatbot solution that I'm talking about, it can also understand the tone of the user. So let's say if the customer had a very bad experience with a particular product or service, and they reach out to that particular seller using the chatbot, they're trying to correspond. So now the chatbots are so human that if the chatbot does not introduce themselves as a chatbot, the client won't even know whether they're talking to a chatbot or an actual person. So here the chatbot is going one step further, and it's trying to filter out which customers need to actually speak with live people and which ones it can automatically take care of. So as the customer starts speaking, and if the customer is really angry and the chatbot realizes, okay, he's getting angrier and angrier, and it can be he or she, so it will, for every sentence or a combination of words that will be passed on to the chatbot by the user, either using text or audio, it can break it down and understand what the tone is behind it. Is it negative, or positive, or neutral? And based on the rules that we have set up on the chatbot side, if it becomes, if it keeps on being negative, the chatbot can automatically loop in a live person and connect them so that they can handle the situation much better. Another use case would be where the chatbot is only analyzing the tone and the people are actually talking to live people. So if they're talking to live people and they realize that even these CSRs are not able to calm down the customer, the chatbot can automatically flag a product manager or the senior manager who can jump into that situation, take control of the situation, and try to save the customer. So all these capabilities are built in as part of the chatbot nowadays, and which holds true for our chatbot as well. Now the reason why would you need chatbot, because we can see the technology has gone tenfolds like within the last few years, and if to be more specific about the chatbots, it has just gone tenfold in the last 1 year, from being a very static or a slightly dynamic chatbot to a total user-friendly, cognitive, AI-driven chatbot which can actually handle customers all by itself. What we have done, our customers, we have been able to successfully replace 95% of their CSR teams with a chatbot itself. So while we still keep the 5%, so that these 5% can mentor the chatbot in scenarios where the chatbot does not know what to do, how to handle the situation. So in those cases, the chatbot will pass on the historical data of the chat between the user and the chatbot to this 5% team, along with the latest question that the chatbot is not able to understand, to the team, and the team will correspond back with the chatbot in the background what the right answer should be. And next time when someone else has the same intent, the chatbot will be able to handle that scenario much better. So why? So as I said, chatbot can simply replace like number of different teams, number of different people. So whether it is regarding brand discovery, whether it is regarding services and support, whether it is regarding sales and conversions, product research, product recommendation, or a follow-up communication, your chatbot can simply take care of all these things totally automatically. Once you have configured a chatbot to do either one of all of these tasks, the chatbot can very efficiently do it without any reminders, and it can follow up with the business users by passing the reports to them, or sending out status updates like, okay, for the brand discovery, these are the messengers which were used, these are the ads that were paid for, and these are the analytics behind all those ads that we have got back. So the chatbot can do all of that. Sales and services, it can correspond with the users. Let's say if someone is trying to buy a Michelin tire, so they are talking with the chatbot can understand what vehicle they have, what kind of tires. It can automatically go back to the database, fetch out all the options that can fit that particular year and model, and give it back to the user on the same interface, and then try to help them to sell that product without even having any CSR come into the picture. Product research, we can ask chatbots to search for more and more information and arrange them in a format that is more polished and can be passed on to the next team, so that they do not waste time in searching for those details, and they have something which is already substantial to start working on. Product recommendation, like we have chatbots currently running on e-commerce sites, where let's say if a customer goes to the sites and they want to buy something for their family, and so the chatbot can look at the historical data. Okay, this person has bought so and so things in the past for the same user or a different user. This was the event, and this is the dollar amount he's looking, this is a dollar amount range that he's looking at. So the chatbot can make suggestions, recommendations based on the previous buys, based on what is hot in the market, which products are moving fast, what have other people bought for the same occasion for the same family member. So it can give them all that suggestions. Right? People don't even have to go to the website anymore. They can simply add this chatbot as a friend on Facebook Messenger, and on the go they can talk to that particular bot using Facebook Messenger. They can chat with them, and they can get all the options within their Messenger window itself, along with payment information, and do a complete checkout. After the checkout also, you can cancel your orders, you can track your order statuses, updates, and the best part is using a chatbot, using social media enables you as a seller or a client to interact directly with your consumer. You can send highly customized, highly individual marketing offers, follow-up emails, which are very specific to that particular user. And if everyone would click on that bubble on their social media, like if I have a bubble saying there are 2 notifications on Facebook, the chances of me going and opening my Facebook Messenger to see what those messages are, like 100% more than I would if it was an email, or if it was an SMS from an unknown number. So it also helps you to set up that marketing channel and get more positive feedback out of that. Follow-up communication. So let's say if you have someone, someone is browsing some items and they have left it at it, so you can use your chatbot to reach out to them and tell them, okay, we saw that you were browsing, here's additional 10% off, here's a new offer on this if you want to convert. So all these things can be done via chatbot. Another solution which has been very popular for a long time with a lot of customers is a live chat. And so if we have to, and many customers we speak to that have finally implemented chatbot, they had live chat and they wanted to understand how a chatbot would differentiate and how a chat would be able to continue using the live chat functionality. So first of all, as everyone would know, that live chat is where you have a live group of people who correspond to any of the client requests. The challenge is that one person can handle only one chat window. So if you have a team of 10, the maximum chats you can handle is 10, not more than that. Chatbot, you can do millions of sessions. You can use the chatbot. So let's say if you have only 10 people, you can still communicate with thousands of people, filter out those people who would actually need to interact with a live person, and just give the answers to other people who do not really need to correspond with a live person. So you can continue or you can reduce the size of your live chat team when you start using chatbot. So you can just stick with 2 people and use the chatbot to filter out everything else. Live chat, if you have to maintain a 24/7 support, you will have to have multiple teams working across the globe, 3 8-hour shifts. The cost would be threefold. Chatbot, no additional cost. The chatbot is available anytime. And as you start using the chatbot in some months and years will become as knowledgeable as any other employee that you have, because it is self-learning. It keeps on learning the details, the possible complications within the operations on a daily basis. Live chat guy will not be able to multi-chat. Chatbot would be instant. Lack of if the live chat guy is not like responsive, is not able to give response back to the user pretty quickly, it can further frustrate the customer or have the sale go away. But that's not the case with chatbot. It would be immediate, quick, and instant. Cost efficiency, you'll have to maintain the same cost for your live chat team. If you add more people, the cost goes up. Chatbot is more kind of a one-time setup, and then you just pay for the data that is being exchanged between different sessions, which comes down to only a few hundreds, and that's it. Why the chatbot is getting so successful? Obviously, it can automatically learn. You don't need to have a team sit and just teach this chatbot. The chatbot will automatically reach out to the team in case it does not understand what to do, and the next time the same scenario happens, it does not need to go back to the team again. Quick time to the market, this chatbot can be put up and running in the shortest span of time. Like we have customers going live in 3 to 4 weeks, as quickly as that. If you already have FNQs to start with or initial set of questions, we can even you go live in 2 weeks time. ROI, it has amazing return of investment with only one time setup fee. You are just paying few hundreds to give your customers the best experience around the globe, around the clock, and in a number of languages. Knowledge management capabilities, you can also use your chatbot to be very specific to what kind of a user it is corresponding with. So a lot of our customers are using chatbot for both external customers and internal customers. For internal customers, it can automatically raise tickets. If there's an IT team, the people working, doing regular jobs, if they have any IT requests, they can use chatbot. They can just correspond with chatbot and ask the chatbot to schedule the ticket, follow up with the chatbot on the status of the ticket. Everything can be done. So it's more of a platform that you once implement, you can use across every different segment within your organization. and for both internal customers and external customers. Live chat integration, it can integrate any live agent chat which is available in the market. So only in scenarios where the chatbot will realize that an actual person needs to be brought into the picture, it will automatically collect those channels and the people will be able to talk to the live CSR team. We also provide analytics. So let's say if you want to monitor how many chats were handled by the chatbot, how was the response of the chatbot, did that make the people happy or not? So all those analytics are available to you, daily basis, monthly basis, weekly basis, all for even for audit purposes. You can have that information available. You can use this information to drive some cross-sell, upsell, your marketing campaigns, so on and so forth. So all of that information is available to all the business users via dashboard. And tone/mood analysis, which I previously touched upon. So it can also understand the emotion behind the communication that the end customer is doing and take steps accordingly. So you can, if the chatbot will not ignore if they're frustrated. It will take additional steps to make sure that the customers get the best experience out there. One very important part that I want to talk about is like how we need to. So this was a gap in email marketing for a very long time. Imagine someone coming to your site, trying to understand what services they would like to use from you, whether it's healthcare, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's finance and banking, whether it's travel, hospitality, food and beverages, any industry. So let's say if I want to use any of those services, I will not just go ahead and buy them. I'll go to the site or the preferred vendor, and I'll try to see what services are available, how it would be, how heavy or light they would be on my pocket, and what I need, whether I need to buy them, should I need to try them first before I buy them. So I might add few products to my shopping cart. I might ask a number of questions, I might submit a questionnaire, await for response, and then based on the feedback I get or response I get, I might choose one service over another, and so on and so forth. So let's say I came to your site, you're into healthcare, I came to your site, I wanted a particular insurance, or I wanted to know more about a particular disease or ailment, and I'm going through a number of questions. Now this is more kind of so I'm a lead to you, like I might be a hot lead, a cold lead, or someone who's just brushing through for some information. You don't know that, but you need to explore that, right? So I come to your site and I wanted health insurance. I'm looking for various options. I ask number of questions. I have a family of 4. This is my salary. This is the amount, or this is the kind of service I'm looking for. I'm looking for international, national, regional service, blah blah blah. So based on all that stuff, your site gives me a code, or I get the code back in an email. So I get all that information, and now I will be crunching over it and comparing that with some other vendors. So why, if I go away from your site, I have lost that touch with you. I'm more dependent upon who does the selling better, either site A or site B or site C. I'll have a quote from all three different sites, but now I have taken a back seat. I'm comparing those things. Maybe site B might do a better marketing, send me frequent emails, try to reach me on phone, or send me SMSs. Site C might might send an individual to my home to talk to me. So site A might not do anything. So again, depending upon the engagement, I might prefer one service over the another. So what will happen is, like, if you just stuck to old technologies, or because the solution I'm going to talk about is only available with also right now. So what best you can do is you can reach out over email if I have not given you my phone number. So I reach over to you over email and say, I see that you were interested in these services, and here's an offer. Why don't I offer you something additional? So do you want do you want to take this offer? If you want, click on this link and then I can help you with that. So once I do that, again, I might read that email, I might not, and moreover, I'm away from the site. So I'm more kind of a lost customer or an abandoned customer, and I can go anywhere. However, if you're using a chatbot solution that we have, the chatbot, which is a artificial intelligence chatbot, is driven by the customer experience. So what we have done, we have combined the chatbot functionality on top of customer experience and analytics. So let's say if I see a particular customer who's struggling or who's trying to find some information which is not available, so the chatbot can automatically pop up on the screen and say, hello, hi, Mr. I see that you're trying to find this information, but you are having a challenge trying to find this information. Let me give you a quick call to discuss this and help you, and try to sell you the services which are which you are interested in. So at that point, the customer has not even gone to any other site. They're just still browsing on your site. So if you capture the audience then there itself, that customer has a higher chance of converting with you than somewhere else. So that's where the solution comes in. I have a quick video which I'll be walking you guys through. So I have an example of an e-commerce site where the customer has been wanting to buy this particular desktop computer, but obviously it was expensive. So it was looking for some discounts to be available as part of a Labor Day sale or Black Friday. So finally the site has announced $30 discount. So the customer comes and they have a coupon code that they have shared publicly. So the customer comes to the site and immediately tries to go to that product page, as you can see on the screen, and they go and add that particular desktop to their shopping cart. So here I go and add it to the shopping cart, and once it's added to the cart, I go to the shopping cart page, and now I'll try to enter the coupon code. So you can see the chatbot is already active here at the bottom right screen. So the promotion code I entered, so it has already exhausted. People have already used it. So I don't know that. So I'm still trying various iterations, and again, it's very exhausted. So at this point, the only option I have is either to go to an alternate site and buy the product if I find it cheaper. Otherwise, wait for another promotion from the same vendor. But in this case, even though the coupon code was expired, the dynamic chatbot or the artificial intelligence chatbot was able to understand what the situation is, and it sent a message to the customer saying, hi there, I found that you are facing some issues with the coupon code. So when the user would click on that first of all, they will be surprised that the site already knows what the challenge is. So once they click on that, the customer can see that the chatbot has automatically generated a one-time private coupon code of the same value, so that the customer does not have to go away or wait for another promotion. And since I'm already running that promotion, it doesn't hurt for the seller to offer additional coupon for the same product. So the user will be able to copy this coupon from here, apply into the promotional code section. So I'll copy this RC001, go ahead and apply it on this promotional window, apply, and there's my discount of $30. Now I'm a happy customer, so I don't even have to go anywhere. I didn't waste any of my time searching for the same product somewhere else, and I added that item to my shopping cart. Now the shopping cart page, when you proceed to the checkout page, so the billing information page is the most critical. So the customer who has come to that page has already agreed to pay the amount. They have made up their mind. They want to give that money to you. Now if any error happens on this page, it's as good as losing that money out of your hand. So, and there can be many challenges with the IPSP as well. So let's see what happens here. So I'm trying to do a checkout now, and I'm trying to make a payment using my credit card. So I enter my information. So as I enter my information, I submit my order, and there was some problem with the IPSP. So the IPSP is down. So this money, which I have made up my mind to give it to you, I cannot give it to you because the IPSP is not working. Now, what would you do in this case as a seller? You have no other choice. And at best, if you're using Google Analytics or if you're using some of the solutions in the market like Tealeaf, Glassbox, uh, what best you can do is you can probably run a report at the end of the day, every 6 hours, every 8 hours, and then go through the list of, go through the report to see how many people faced what error scenario. Then you will be able to pull the information like their email information, what they were trying to buy, run an email marketing campaign, reach out to them and say, you know what, we saw that you had a trouble while making a payment, and we are sorry for the loss. Here's additional 10% discount. Please click on this to make the payment. Most 100% of the chances are like you would have already lost the customer is gone. But in this case, how the chatbot is able to help the customer is like, again, as a regular user, at least I'll try twice before I bail out, right? So I try to enter the information again, and I make some changes. Maybe I have typed it wrong. I click on next again, and again, as you can see, this time as well, the chatbot has been able to flag that as a customer I am facing some issues with a particular problem. So in this case, it says, hi there, I found that you are facing some issues with payment. So it was able to flag what the issue is. And as I play forward, I click on the message to see what options do I have. And since I am already logged in, so the chatbot is giving me an option that the chatbot can see that my payment, my contact information is there. So the chatbot can initiate a call to me. They can give me a call so that I don't have to call them. I don't have to stay in a queue to wait for my number, whether it's chat or a phone call. I can get the call back and I can close that order over the phone. So this is the kind of customer experience we are talking about if we want to retain a customer for the longest of times by giving them the experience that they deserve. Because nowadays no one has the time. People use their mobiles, tablets on the go when they're going to work, coming back from work. They try to do all this, buying and selling everything on the phone or on the laptop. No one has the time. So if we can capture them before they get frustrated with the issue they're having, if we can recognize what that issue is and fix it right then and there, then you have a successful customer, a successful purchase, and that money goes into your bank. So this was a quick use case I wanted to show you guys. Moving forward, I want to go some like a little bit on the architecture that we have on the solution. So let's quickly look at the architecture as well. So as I mentioned previously, and as you look at the various coding methods we have used, so these boxes is something that we can use any services for. So it can be Microsoft, it can be IBM, it can be Google. And so we'll start from here. So we have a user interface where the customer will correspond with the bot UI. Now this UI can be a web application, it can be a thin client on your website, it can be any of the social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It can be any chat application like Facebook Messenger, it can be Skype, it can be anything. So irrespective of what media you use, once you try to correspond with the bot application, either using text or audio, it can go back to the backend. So the backend that we have developed at Royal Cyber is the bot analytics, the response handler, and the response compiler. And then additional things, we have a rules management system where you can specify rules in terms of once the chatbot has taken a decision, if you want to further enhance the response based on certain rules, you can specify them there. We also connect your existing backend services with the chatbot. So let's say if someone is looking for very precise information about their account, we can reach out to your backend system using REST API. The chatbot can do that interaction and provide that information to your user. And then we have artificial intelligence, where we can decode what the message means, what the intent is, what are the entities involved. If we are using tone, then to analyze the tone, if the customer is happy, sad, and based on all that feedback, we'll compile a response from the rules, our analytics, our response handler, and then we'll just correspond back to the user. Again, if we are using an application in this case, like if you're using a CMS like Adobe, we can also convert the information available on various pages and see if the response for the user can be generated from that data. So the chatbot is that intelligent. So it does not take that web page data as a static content. It understands what is the utility of that data, what page it is on, and it can pull that information and very dynamically respond back to the user or to the question with some information, usable information from those pages as well. I have, let's glimpse through some very common use cases that these chatbots can handle within the healthcare. If your customers or patients want to connect with you, or they want to reach out to the doctors, and they want access to their personal reports, if they have any appointments, if they want to create appointments, manage appointments, if they want to fill out, refill prescriptions, pay bills, they have got some tests done, they want to follow up where the reports are, if the reports are available, if they want to do some comparative analysis on the previous reports, new reports. So the chatbot, it can work either way. So in case you want to update the customer on anything, you can use a chatbot to initiate that communication, give them feedback. Reports are available, you can send a notification to them if they're using social media, so that they can immediately know that reports are available or their prescription is available. So instead of these guys calling the call center or calling the reception help desk, so on and so forth, they can just communicate with the chatbot and get all the responses. And just to give you a very quick demo, so let's say if someone had a sick family member and they wanted to reach out, instead of calling you, they can use a chatbot. They can reach out with some symptoms, giving some more details about who that family member is, and then you should be able to, or your chatbot should be able to pull out some historical data once they have authenticated who the user is based on the previous history, or they can specify which doctor is available right now and what are the appointment details, like what appointments are available, to book that appointment for this particular user then and there itself. Food and industry, again, if you want to make any restaurant reservations, cancellations, if there are any changes in the menu, if something has changed on the restaurant side, you have to close down early. So again, no one has to download any applications, because if I go to 10 different restaurants, I don't think I'm going to download all of those applications. That is too much clutter. So I can use a chatbot. I can use a chatbot. I can have a number of friends on my Facebook Messenger, on Skype, on any social media. So I can just send out a notification based on the action I had previously taken, whether to cancel, reserve, or table allocation, and I can make the customer aware of what is happening, and they can correspond back. If you have any specials, new offers, it will be very easy for you to reach out to the end customer and make sure that they read it, because social media, everyone wants to make sure that no notifications pending. E-commerce, I showed you a quick demo as well in the video, and here also, like in case you want to make any orders, you can just go ahead, specify what you want to do. Oh, sorry, this is food and restaurant. So like this is a quick use case for food and restaurant, like using the chatbot, how you can make a reservation, and the chatbot will automatically respond back as if you're talking to a live person, and make that reservation. Commerce and retail, again, the demo I already showed you, with some additional use cases where the chatbot is acting dynamically, understanding what challenges there are, what challenges you are facing, and then trying to give you a solution before you bail out of the site or you abandon the site and move away. Quick example would be like, if I'm looking for a basket of flowers, the chatbot can make a suggestion depending upon what the event is, who am I going to give it for, what is the occasion. It can also look into my historical data once I have authenticated myself as a user or a registered user, and based on what I have given in the past, it can also see what are the trends, latest trends in the market. From the internet, it can find that out and make corresponding suggestions. Travel and leisure, if you want to make any bookings, if you want information on flight information search, you want to know more about luggage, how much you can carry, what is the cost for additional one, your rewards program. You can get updates using this chat bot if the flight is delayed, if it's early, if it's canceled. So all that information to and fro, both from the end user to the service provider and vice versa, can happen using the chatbot. Again, if you travel with different agencies, you don't have to download each and individual app. You can just use the chatbot, add them as your friend, and start using that information. So all information is available to you via just one chatbot. And you don't have to reach out to a call center for making any cancellations or changes. You can just correspond with the chatbot, and chatbot will be able to give you all the information on the same screen. So you don't even have to go to the site to make those bookings. You can just make it from the chatbot itself and get the confirmation. Finance and banking, again, very big area and very successful one for the chatbots. Like here, let's say if I want to talk about my account information, if I can, instead of going to the bank, calling them, I can simply use the chatbot to understand my finances. It can also make suggestions based on, like, if it realizes that I have not been using a lot of additional banking facilities. So when I'm talking to them, they can make right suggestions, do some marketing regarding them, and all the data is getting saved, which you can use as the service provider for audits. So there has been, most of the banking customers that we talk to, they have a big challenge when people sue them for any negligence or any other information. So at that point, the bank really needs a lot of information or a lot of data regarding that customer. So with the chatbot, if all the correspondence is happening via chatbot, all that information is available to you via dashboard in written with proper timestamps. We even can save what was the tone of the customer, what was the intent. So all that information is available for both audit purposes and for any legal purposes. Yeah, again, you don't have to install multiple apps. No one has just one account with a bank. People usually work with different banks. So having everyone included as a chatbot can save a lot of clutter on your side and misunderstanding. So here's one quick example for banking. Someone is traveling and they do not want the cards to be blocked. So all you have to do is reach out to the chatbot. Once you have authenticated yourself as the right user, it can give you a list of all the cards which are associated with your account, and you can just specify which ones you either want to block or you do not want to block. So as simple as that. Again, logistics. Again, hey, you can help your customers with relocation, booking days. Let's say if I'm moving from location A to location B, and I want to have some logistics company take care of all my belongings and move them, I can make the bookings. I can set up the, get a quote, finalize the booking, have them come over, do everything, and I can even make payments over the chatbot. So. And I can also track what they're doing in real time basis using GPS. So once the stuff has been packed and they're moving, using GPS, I can see all the status on my chatbot itself. A quick example of that as well, where someone is asking for a quote for moving from one place to another, and how the chatbot is responding or asking questions so that it can give a quick quote to continue working with the client. Insurance, again big market. So let's say if I was in the market to look for a particular insurance, again it's a very difficult task for a first timer. So someone is looking, they have thousands of questions. No one goes through the pain of going through the FNQs or the questions that are already available on the site. People want to talk to someone without waiting in the lines or the queues. So that's where the chatbot comes into the picture. Chatbot can understand your financial situation, your requirement, what kind of insurance you're looking for, what are various aspects, ask those questions to you one by one, and then drill down to the right package that might fit your bill. And because it's so easy and so convenient, the users can use the chatbot in the future to like put any claims. If they have any questions, if they want to make any payments, they can use the chatbot for that as well. Again, a quick overview of how that might look like is, if someone got involved in a car accident and they want to reach out to check how they can initiate the claim, so on and so forth. So they can do that. They can even upload images using chatbot itself and get done with it. So they don't really have to they don't have to wait for long in the line queues or the chat queues. They can just get done with it without installing any apps on their site. Government sector, again, government wants to make sure that you have the right information regarding all the various utilities or services that a state government or central government provides. So instead of you calling them, if you have the experience, it can be a very long queue. You might have to wait there for like 5-10 minutes before you can get a response, and sometimes no one even picks up. And again, government organizations, they work for a very specific timing. Sometimes you call them at 3 o'clock in the evening, they're already gone because that day the office was only open to 2 p.m. I'm sure a lot of you guys would have seen and experienced that too. So so again, chatbot comes to the rescue. You can have any questions that you want, whether it's related to garbage disposal, your electricity, water billing, anything. You can ask those questions, and the chatbot would be able to assist you. So as you can see in this case, someone is checking in with the chatbot when the trash pickup is scheduled. So you can get all that information. And sometimes when you're searching for this information on the internet, you might get multiple different information. So you're not really sure which one to take it. So using a chatbot, you can get the precise information and then correspond on that. That brings me to the next sector, which is telecom. Telecom is again a very big market, and everyone uses telecom services, and there are a lot of additional add-ons that a person can use. So having a chatbot available to you who can correspond to all your queries regarding billing, international travel, unblocking your SIM card, upgrades, what is available, what is not. And then and this is the only sector where I think the people are interested to get a notification from the service provider. So when are they eligible for the new upgrades, what new handsets are available, what new services are available. So chatbot can be a very simple and a straightforward medium of communication for both sides. So in this case, you can see a prepaid customer is trying to do a refill, and all it need to do is come to the chatbot, ask them for a refill. Once they are authenticated, the chatbot can use any of the pre-registered cards or a quick payment option that they must have registered for, get a confirmation, and get it done. So, if you're traveling internationally, you don't have to really make any expensive phone calls. You can just, use the data, correspond with the chatbot, and get it done. So that kind of brings me towards the end of the discussion we were having today. Yeah. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. What I'm going to suggest to you is like now we have been doing it for so many customers. We already have some packages that we can implement it very quickly for you guys. We can do a extensive POC, which involves implementing 2 complete use cases, and we can integrate up to 2 applications at your backend and set up 1 interface channel. So your interface channel would be either a thin client on your website itself, or it can be Facebook Messenger, Skype, or anything else. So we can do that in like as less as 2 to 4 weeks. And if you want an even quicker POC, we might be able to do that for you totally free of cost. If you want to reach out after this webinar, tell us a very simple use case. If you want to see how your frequently asked questions can be handled by the chatbot, we can do that in less than a week and set it up for you, give a quick POC to you for you to understand how the solution would work. And it's not a solution, it's a platform. So you start from very basic, like having your frequently asked questions onboarded, and then slowly and steadily you can add more dynamic use cases to it. I would suggest you guys to go to the aiagentbot.com site. I have opened it on my site as well. There are multiple use cases that you can get your hands dirty with. So if I go to various industries here, I have quick chatbots available for various sectors that you can quickly ask some questions and get some answers. So that would be a very quick POC that you can see on the site itself. So thank you once again. You guys take care. Thank you. Bye.